I write about this in the book. In 1971, I got a very wonderful lesson from an event that we may see every few days, something like this, but we don't really take it seriously. The Bible said, "Seek and ye shall find." If we're really seeking wisdom, it's amazing where we'll find it. We'll find it everywhere. I was sitting on the bank of the river Ganges. It was the summer, very hot, probably 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and nobody else was there at the time. It was actually at Prayag, the place where the Kumbh Mela takes place. But it wasn't, I was just at Kumbh Mela, and the day I bathed in the same spot, according to the government, 35 million people bathed. 35 million humans bathed in that place on that day. But in 1971, when I was sitting there, I was the only one around. A hawk was flying overhead. This hawk was hovering lower and lower and lower till he was just a few meters above me. I looked up at him. He had brown, white, and kind of gold feathers with his wings expanded, and extremely sharp claws, and its beak was curved down and pointed, very sharp, and yellow eyes that seemed to be unblinkingly gazing at me as he was coming lower and lower and lower. So naturally I was thinking, maybe he's hungry. And maybe I'm his food. Suddenly, he dove right into the water and went underwater a little, and there was a skirmish. And about 30 seconds later, he emerged from the water with a flapping fish in its claws. That fish was about a foot long, and it was really bewildered. It was just a few yards in front of me, and I looked into the eyes of that fish. He or she, I couldn't tell. And I don't want to call him it, so I'll just call him he, just for conventional purposes. That fish looked so disoriented and bewildered. And I was thinking, he was probably just going about his day like every other day. Swimming upstream, swimming downstream, maybe with family, friends, looking for food, playing. Did not expect that at the least expected moment, it would be ripped out of its complacency by the hawk of destiny. And I was thinking, how many people I know, how many people I hear about, very much like that fish, are just going about their days, and all of a sudden they're diagnosed with a terminal disease. Or they're betrayed by a loved one. Or they get in an accident, or there's an earthquake that devastates everything around them. It happens every day. No one expects it. That hawk of destiny is kind of flying over everyone's head and could come down to get us. And I was thinking how we shouldn't be complacent. We should make priorities in our life. of what really is sacred, what really is important. I remember Martin Luther King speaking. He said, if you do not have an ideal you're willing to die for, you have nothing meaningful to live for. Do we have that ideal? Moments pass and we're just so preoccupied with superficialities. How much time do we really invest in trying to discover what's really meaningful and important in life? And then I reflected how if that fish was swimming deeper, the hawk could not reach it. And similarly, if our fulfillment, if our pleasure and meaning in life is deep, then whatever happens in this ever-changing world cannot really disturb what we have achieved within ourselves, and cannot alter the integrity and the character in which we live. This is a beautiful building. But how many of us are thinking how wonderful the foundation is? The foundation, like the roots of those redwood trees, cannot be seen. It's something deeper than what the eyes can perceive. But yet, the integrity of the building is completely dependent on the strength of the foundation. The Bible tells like this: build your house on solid rock. Then any storm that comes will not, it may disturb it, but it's just a temporary disturbance. But if you build your house on shifting sand, then when the storm comes, everything crumbles. How much are we really taking seriously developing the foundation of our lives? A deep inner fulfillment. In 1971, I lived with Mother Teresa for some time. And I remember she said something to me that was quite profound. And it was the same thing I was hearing from so many great sages in the Himalayas. That the greatest problem in this world is hunger. Not hunger of the stomach, hunger of the heart. What is the one thing that nourishes the heart? Love. It's the most essential need for all of us to love and to be loved. If we have everything else but not that, there will be no fulfillment to the heart. And if we have that, whether we have everything else or nothing else, there's an inner fulfillment. Because fulfillment is not something that just, that the ever-fleeting experiences that come before our eyes or that we touch with our skin. Those things are fleeting. Or even fame and prestige, they come and go in the mind. Fulfillment is a thing of the heart, to love and to be loved. And the origin, the universal principle of all these great spiritual paths is that the origin of that love is within us. It is our inherent nature. In the theistic paths, it is to experience the infinite love of God, who has many names, who has appeared in this world in many times, in many forms, to feel that love and to love. And the Bhagavad Purana tells that when we experience that love and we reciprocate with that love, it's like watering the root of a tree. When there is love of God, it naturally extends to every living being. Just as watering the root of a tree, that water extends to every leaf, every flower, every branch, every twig. Doesn't discriminate. It's natural. According to the yoga principles, it is that spiritual experience that is the deepest fulfillment. And when we find that deep fulfillment within ourselves, then the ever-changing world and all the challenges that come cannot disturb it. The hawk of faith cannot go deep if the fish is swimming in a safe place. But if our happiness and our purpose and our meaning in life is based on all these ever-changing superficial conditions, at any moment, it can be changed.